The agreement with the people of Kenya was that we are not continuing to dig the hole of debt, that we'll do whatever is necessary. Instead of digging the hole, we were going to pay off more debts and borrow less. Unfortunately, the reverse has happened. So that's one, that we needed not to continue doing the same thing and expecting different results. Second thing is priority. In a country when you are faced with a situation like now, when the fiscals are dim, you need to just be realistic about what you can achieve within the resources that are available. I don't think that has happened. The other thing is that we have seen there is not much increment in terms of revenues of the country. That is basically based on the fact that we have also introduced many other things, raiding the same taxpayer, but in a different manner. For example, take the housing levy. Housing levy does not go to the consolidated fund. So when we are reporting the government revenue, it does not appear as part of the revenue of government. But this is money being paid for by Kenyans. So it's still a revenue. You get what I mean? So we needed also to not make decisions in haste. Decisions about economy are usually made empirically. And in many jurisdictions, what they do, you first test a hypothesis before then running it over. We ought to have seen what would be the impact, for example, of introducing some of the things the people of Kenya are already paying for, so that we see also the effect of that to the mainstream collection of taxes. In the year 2024, while we see our timelines jamming with housing projects done by government, the housing subsector of our economy shrank by 2%. The consumption of cement in Kenya shrank by 7.9%. Can you just imagine that? That with all the information we are hearing about housing levy, consumption of cement actually went down. The consumption of steel in Kenya in the year 2024, calendar year, went down. I'm using government data, not mine. Now, this is the other intriguing part. I have seen government officials reporting that there are 300,000 youth working in the housing, in the housing program being done by government. If you just go today and Google the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, it shows that the number of Kenyans working in the construction sector is actually 234,000 Kenyans. And it's actually a downside from 2023. That number actually came down. So when you look at those kind of things, they should inform the government. What is it? And in my deduction there is that the 75 billion Kenya shillings that Kenyans are paying through the housing levy was more productive for the economy when it was in the private hands. I would actually revert that money to where it is more productive. Government data itself has shown that 75 billion housing levy was more productive when it was in the pocket of Kenyans, in the exact same subsector of construction.